Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and lithium ion is the constructor featured today. We've had lithium ion before and it was a really excellent and surprising puzzle last time, so that's what I'm hoping for again. And there's some very odd lines to cope with here. We're talking factors and divisors. No, hang on, they're the same thing. We're talking factors and multiples. And I will explain the rules in a moment. It's a very impressive grid, in fact, I think. So looking forward to that. Don't forget our Patreon, where there's all sorts of good things every month, including a monthly competition, extra videos, sometimes some solving packs, and all sorts of stuff that comes to us and we like to put out there occasionally. So do join us there. It's a great Patreon to join. There's also, of course, our apps, which are excellent in their own right. They're available on the links under the video, along with our SUDOKU PAD merchandise. I think I'm wearing, can we see the Cracking the Cryptic logo just there? Sort of a top from our range. Can I call it our range? It feels ludicrous, but there we go. Now, let's have a look at this puzzle and work out what the rules are. So, normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 goes in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Now, the only thing we have in the grid is a few lines, none of them very long. Oh no, hang on. There's a very important rule. Orthogonally adjacent cells are not allowed to contain consecutive digits. This is a non-consecutive Sudoku. That is a massive negative constraint. It's one of the constraints in the Miracle Sudoku, and indeed in our Miracle app, in our Miracle Sudoku app. I think all the puzzles have this non-consecutive negative constraint. It is a big deal. So that is helping lithium ion create a puzzle with just these few lines in it. Now, what's up with the lines? The only digits that can be placed on a yellow divisor line have to be divisors of the maximum digit on the line. For example, if the maximum digit on a yellow divisor line was 8, one is only allowed to place the digits 1, 2, 4, and 8 on that line. So that might be a possible line. I mean, there are lots of possible lines, but that would be one of them. Digits on a divisor line may repeat if allowed by other rules. Okay, so I hope you can see the yellow colour. I don't know if I'm going to need to produce a different version of this. It is quite pale in the grid, but actually that just serves to emphasise what an incredible grid construction this is. No given digits, no other constraints apart from the non-consecutive one, which is important. Just these yellow lines. Fascinating. This might be a very long video, I feel, but we will see. I'm going to restart the clock and say, let's get cracking. So, do we start with the longest line? With this line? No, I think we start with these. No, well, with these four, yeah, with all of these 4-cell lines. So let's just colour them blue. Oh, that gives a good contrast for the yellow line, doesn't it? Now, these are important because they're confined within the same box, each line. 1, 2, 4, 8 was the example given to us in the rules, and that is one way of filling this. Now, I think there is another one. And forget 9, the only factors of 9 are 1 and 3. So if 9 went on one of these lines, it would quickly break. Forget 7, it's a prime and has no part in these lines, nor does 5. 8, we've worked out, could be 1, 2, 4, 8, but 6 could be 1, 2, 3, 6. Now, these lines cannot all be from the same group of 1, 2, 4, 8 and 1, 2, 3, 6 because there are 6 digits in column 2. Indeed, those digits must be a set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. And everything else in the same column is 5, 7 or 9. Now that means this digit on this 3-cell line is 5, 7 or 9. If it was 5, the other digits could only be 1 or 5. If it was 7, they could only be 1 or 7. And if it was 9, they could only be 1, 3, or 9. So they're definitely odd. I don't think that's worth a lot, but I'm marking it nonetheless. Now, what else do we know about these? I don't know, I was wondering if we could work out a pair. Maybe box 1, which is the box most populated with lines. What's going on this line? Yeah, I mean, we must have 2 versions of one of these types of line and 1 version of the other down here. Oh, we've got that non-consecutive rule. Oh, that's a big deal. Yeah. Neither of these square ones, this is it. Neither of these square ones can be 1, 2, 3, 6. And to prove that to yourself, put 2 in any position on the line, and what can go next to it? You're not allowed to put 1 or 3 next to it. Well, you can't put 6 in both places. So both of these have to be 1, 2, 4, 8 squares. And this, now we've got a 1, 2, 4, 8 triple. This pair of digits is a 3, 6 pair on a 1, 2, 3, 6 line. Ah, that's interesting. Okay, now, what else can we do to avoid 1s touching 2s especially? They're going to have to be diagonal pairs in each of these boxes. And down here on this S-shape tetromino, 2 can't be next to 3. So whichever end of the line is a 2 is next to 6. So it goes 2, 6, 3, 1 in one order. Now, this can't be 1 or 3 anymore. So that is also 5, 7, or 9. Right, because the 1s and 2s are disposed diagonally, one of those 2 is a 1 or a 2, and that's forming a virtual pair with that one. Now that means neither of these digits can be 1 or 2. Now, what can they be on this line? We've got to choose from higher digits. Clearly, well, they could be 3, 6. But they could be 3, 9, or they can't be 4, 8, because they've been ruled out of this box. So we're selecting from 3, 5, 6, 7, 9. Now we can't have 5 or 7, because the other digit in this pair couldn't be on such a line. And we can't have 6 and 9, so one of them is a 3. And this line either has 6 or 9 as its maximum digit. If it has 9, this group of cells is a 1, 3, 9 set. If it has 6, they're selected from 1, 2, 3, 6. Interesting. I don't quite know where I am. Again, 1, 2 are a virtual pair there. And they're a virtual pair here. And they've been used up here. Now, come on, what else is going on? Am I forgetting the rule, the non-consecutive rule anywhere? Don't know. This digit. I don't know. Okay, I need to think a bit more clearly. Now, those 2 digits are going to be those 2 digits. And they're going to include 1 from 1 and 2 and 1 from 4 and 8. And they're going to have to go down here. Right, those 2 digits are going to be those 2 digits. And they've got to appear here and here. So that is 4 or 8 on a line with, well, something from the 1, 2, 4, 8 family, I suppose. Oh, it can't be 1 or 2 because we would have a connection there. I don't think I've missed any possibilities. Now they can be different or the same, but we've also got a 4, 8 pair. In fact, we've got a 1, 2, 4, 8 quad in this column now. And 3 is up here. So this digit is from 5, 6, 7, 9, as is this one. One, 2, 3, 6. And over here, one of these is 5, 7, or 9, and one of them is 4 or 8. In this box, we've got a 3 in one of these cells. And what? No, I don't know. I was going to say whatever the other digit is there. That only applies if it's a 6. Now, if this was 9 or 6, oh, well, it either is 9 or 6, and in which case we've got a quintuple of 1, 2, 3, 6, 9 here, or it's 5 or 7, and that's almost more interesting, because 5 or 7 would make this pair of cells a 1, 5 or 1, 7 pair. Maybe this puzzle is more about the 5s and 7s than about the actual factors and divisors and where you can hide them away. That's a really fascinating thought. Now, okay, let's just think again about this. If this was a 5 or a 7, actually it's quite interesting because it's got non-consecutive issues with the cells around it in that case. Let's just try and work it out. Oh no, hang on. If this was a 5, you'd have a 5 here and a 1 here. Now 1's off this line and it can't be 9, 3, 1. So this would have to be the 3, 6 version, and that would be 6, 3, 2 with 5, 1 there. In fact, I'll tell you why it doesn't work, and it's quite complicated, but it's rather brilliant. I think it's going to apply to 7 as well. Right, if that's a 5, that has to be a 5, and the same is true if that's a 7. Now, what I'm thinking about is where 6 goes. Oh, yeah, if that's a 5, 1 is here. And these have to be 2, 3, and 6. They can't involve the 9 anymore, and 1 has been placed there. Now, which one of them can be a 6? If 5 or 7 are there and there, 6 can't sit next to them by the rule. So it would have to go there, but that would force 6 into this cell next to a 5 or 7. If that is the next actual step, that's a very, very hard step, but we are dividing and conquering according to the title of the puzzle. But it works, doesn't it? Let's just go through this again. Let's imagine this was 5. That has to be a 1, 5 pair with a 1 there and a 5 there. This then must be a 2, 3, 6. It can no longer be 9, 3, 1. So it's from the other family. It's 2, 3, 6. This pair is a 3, 6 pair, but 6 effectively can't go in either of these cells because we've got a 6 there and a 5 there. And exactly the same applies if that's a 7 and that's a 7. It keeps 6 out of these cells and eventually out of this one. So that is not 5 or 7. I'm using it. I don't care how complicated and weird that is. It's true. This is now 6 or 9. This is now 5 or 7 because we've got a 3, 6, 9 triple up here. In fact, it places a 5, 7 pair in the corner. 5, 7 pair down here. One of these is a 9, but it's not that one, and because this is on a 5, 7 line. This can be 1, 5 or 7 now. I mustn't forget that 1 is allowed. But this sees 5 and 7 in its column. There is our first digit. It's a 9, and that doesn't help with the non-consecutive rule. Oh, bother. If that's a 5, that's an 8. If that's a 7, that's a 4. That's the non-consecutive rule at work again. Now, if that's a 4, that would sort out 3 and 6 here, wouldn't it? By the non-consecutive rule again. Still need, hang on, this can't be a 6 because it's sitting next to 5 or 7. That is 3 or 9. So 6 is in one of these two cells. Oh, okay. Where do 5 and 7 go in this box? Because they don't go on this line anymore. In fact, we can complete my 1, 2, 3, 6, 9 quintuple that I was bragging about before. It's done there. And therefore, everything else in the box is 4, 5, 7, or 8. Now, this can't be 5 or 7 because of the 5, 7 pair in the corner. This pair, I'll tell you why they can't be a 5, 7 pair. Because one of these two cells is a 6. And 6 mustn't sit next to 5 or 7. So if you put them both in here, one of them would touch a 6 illegally. So that is not both the 5 and 7, and this must be a 5 or 7, and these can't be the 6 now. 6 is in one of these cells, nearly ruling 5 and 7. And no, hang on. If 6 was there, I was going to say, doesn't that have to be a 6? But we don't know which line is which. Oh, that's really annoying. Or maybe we do... No, hang on. No, it could still be a 1, 3, 9 line. I thought that had been ruled out. It absolutely hasn't. Oh, bother. One of these is 5 or 7. If it was there, 6 can't sit in any of these cells. That and that must be 6s, but they're on Does it matter that they're on different lines? I think it does. Yes. If that was a 6, this would be 3 and 9, and 6 couldn't appear on a line with a 9 in. So if that was 5 or 7, and 6 had to appear there and there, it would break, because this would be a 6 line, but that line would be a 9 line, and yet would have a 6 on it. So that is not 5 or 7. That is complicated. But that can't be 5 or 7, so this is the other 5 or 7, and it can't sit next to 6, and we've actually got a number on a line. So this is a 931 line. They're the only digits that can go on it, not 6 or 2. So 6 in this box now goes on this line, and therefore 9 never goes on this line, because 6 can't be on a 9 line. 6 is therefore the highest digit on its line. This cell in the spotlight is a 3, and that's a 6. And that is progress. That can't be a 9 by Sudoku. These can't be 3s. That can't be a 2 by the non-consecutive rule. Oh, bother. Does that not continue? Oh, that's weird. How did that not get all resolved? 9 can't sit next to 8. I'll take the small wins now. 6 isn't trying to sit next to 5 or 7 anymore because we engineered that it mustn't. Now, we've got 1, 2, 4, 8 and 5, 7 there. This is a 3, 6, 9 triple. We've got roping going on down these cells. That doesn't really do anything. I guess we knew about the other counterparts of the roping earlier. The other component parts, that's what I'm trying to say. These could be 8s or 4s. Oh, I mean, this is so intricate, clever, and beautiful. Right, come on. 2 is in one of those cells in this box, so that is not 1 or 3 because we'd be breaking the non-consecutive constraint. Excellent, so that's a 9. And that's not 8, that's 4 now, and that's 8. Now this isn't 5, it's 7, and that's 5. The non-consecutive constraint is amazing once it gets to work. That's 5. I shouldn't have said that because then it stopped operating, obviously. That's not a 7 anymore. Now that doesn't mean these can't be 7s because that can be a 1. 4 is gone out of those cells and is definitely in one of these two. So 8 is in one of those. Remember, these are a checkerboard of ones and 2s in one case and 4 and 8 in the other. So that can't be 8 anymore. This obviously has a 4 in it. It's not a 1-2 pair. Roping doesn't do anything with the 8s and 4s, I don't think there. 3, oh look, next to 5 or 7, that can't be a 6. And we've done that trick a few times without kind of internalizing that it always applies. Now, is there any other? I don't think we've got anything else. I know that can't be a 1-2 pair, but I've never thought it could be. And that doesn't influence the pencil marking, I don't think. I'm looking for other consequences of the non-consecutive rule specifically. I might have missed something in box 7. I feel like that's very, very possible here. If that's a 4, that's a 6. 6 is always next to 2. So this would go 2, 6, 4. This would go 3, 1. Ah, if that's a 1, this is a 5. That might be the more interesting case. Then we're going 1, 3, 8, 5. Then these have to be 5s. That's why it's the more interesting case. And that's a 7. Yeah, it feels a bit interesting that 5 can't be next to 4 and 7 can't be next to 8 in those two, but I don't know quite how it applies to us. Ah, I'm going to have to get onto the other lines. That's annoying. They're going to be difficult. I just feel it in my waters. That can't be 8 because it's next to 9, so I'm going to write in 4, 5 or 7. This one, I don't know. I don't see how I'm excluding any of the possibilities there. Right, let's think about this line. It's clearly not a 9, 3, 1 line because there's no 9 on it anywhere. So, since it needs 3 different digits, it's either from the 1, 2, 3, 6 family or the 1, 2, 4, 8 family. It cannot be from the 1, 2, 3, 6 family because that would be 5 cells from the same 4-cell family in the column. Now, I'm not missing any families. No, I'm not. This is from the 1, 2, 4, 8 family. It must be. That can't be a 4. Now, let's just look at these digits. 5 and 7 still to be placed in this. Oh, that can't be 5 or 7 because you can't have a 3-cell line of different digits with a 5 or 7. So 5 and 7 in the column are in those two. Now, 5 and 7 is very good at keeping 6 out of cells, but it's not doing this job in this column yet. Now, can this be from the 1, 2, 4, 8 family? No, because we'd have... Oh, we've already got that. Certainly can't be. It's either from the 1, 2... No, 9 is on this line, isn't it? It's got to be in the box there somewhere. So this is a 9, 3, 1 line. And now that cell becomes a 5. And that's a 7. And 5s must populate this line. As I wondered, it is a line of 3 exactly the same digits. That's a 7. We can do 7 and 5 up here. Now, that can't be 8 because it's next to 7. That's 8. 1 and 2 have to be kept apart. So that's 4. No 4 there. 4 is over here, so that's not an 8. Okay, that's all working. This can't be 4 because of these 5s, so that's 8. 1, 3, 9 there takes 1 out of these cells. We need a 6 in the box. I'm putting that here. That's not a 5. That's not 8 or 5. Now, has this been, this hasn't been resolved. Must be resolvable now. Whatever that is, we'll sort it out. How about the 1, 2? No. 5. They're not doing anything. Oh, that's so frustrating. This can't be 9, though. This is 1 or 3. So is that. So we can take 1s out of the rest of the column. Now, there must be a 6. I think I've always known that in one of those cells. There has to be a 7 in one of these 3 cells. Oh yeah, that's because we've got a 7 there. So that's a 5. That's all I was going for there. This is not a 4 by the non-consecutive rule. It is the non-consecutive rule, as expected. It's doing a ton of work in the puzzle. And doing it very well. Oh, 4 is looking down at that cell. Well, that is helpful. 8, 5, 2, 7, 4. So these are from 1, 3, 6, 9. Now, 6 can't go there. Can 6 go here? Yes. 1, 3, 9. I don't see how that's working there. 5, 2, 8. 6 is in one of these 2 cells. 4, 7, 5, 2, 8. I mean, oh, it's got to be there. How do I know 6 is in one of those 2 cells? From this box. That's out, and that's 6. 6 can't go there, so it must go here. So that's a 1 at the top, and that's a 3, and that's a 2, and box 2's finished. This is a 1 and a 3, 9 pair. This is now a 1, 4, 7 triple. Which of those can't be next to something? 4 can't be next to 5, 7 can't be next to 6. That's not a 1. And this is 3 or 9, but it's next to a 2. So it's 9. That's 3. That can't be 8 now. The non-consecutive rule, you just have to keep your eye on it all the time. It's a very naughty rule. 3 mustn't sit next to 4. Actually, we've got a 4 over there. 7, 4. This can't be 3, so that is 6 there. Then this can't be 2. That's the way it worked. And that's 2. There we go. This is all working. Let's uncolour the blue cells if I can, because they've done their job beautifully. That's a 1, 4 pair. 4 can't sit next to 3. I think the rest of the puzzle, I dare to say, is going to fill itself in fairly handily, especially given that we've still got a line to work on. But let's do what we can finish off in columns 1 to 6. That can't be 1. So there we go. Just left with a pair. No, I've got a 3 in one of those rows. There we go. All those columns finished off. 2, 4, 9. We can't have 9 next to 8. Now I'm going to do this one row at a time, and then we'll hit that L shape and all will be revealed. That can't be 6. Not just because of that 5, but also because of that cell. Okay, that's 1, 6 or 8. 2, 4, 9 here. Well, 9 can't appear on a line with either of 4 or 2. So we get that off. We put 9 in here. This can't be 6 now, because 4 can't be on the same line. So that's 6. That can't sit next to 5 or 7. 3 can't sit next to 2 or 4. It's beautiful when this starts happening. I honestly think so. Now this is 3, 5, 7. Look, 3 can't sit next to either of these because they're 2 and 4. So 3 has to go there. This is 1, 6, 8. That can't be 6 by Sudoku. 6 can't sit next to either of 5 or 7. So we've got roping again. I bet we had roping going on here. Yes, we did. Anyway, this is now 9, 3, 6, and I can write them in. Now, this is a 1, 8 pair. Somewhere we're going to find something to finish it off. That's a 2, 4 pair. I'm not seeing the non-consecutive rule operating yet, nor there. I've got a 1, 8 pair here. Oh, we need one more little trickaroo somewhere. What am I missing? You're shouting it at the screen by now, and I haven't seen it yet. It's somewhere here. Oh, non-consecutive rule, what are you doing to me? It's not the line. The line could work with that being either 1 or 8. So it's somewhere else. Maybe it's somewhere else conditionally. So 4 can never be next to 5 in this line. So wherever 4 is, it goes next to 7. I don't know, this is, 9 next to 8. That's what it is, that's all it was. There wasn't any big mystery, there was just that. 8, 1, 8 can't be next to 7. Yeah, you were shouting it, I'm sorry. And you were right. 5 can't be next to 4, so we can finish off our 2s and 4s. What a wonderful puzzle. Love it. We had to divide and we had to conquer. How come only 4 people have solved this in our software? Maybe they're solving it in other software. Brilliant stuff. That is great fun. One of the best I've seen in a long time. The empty grid. I mean, yes, there's the non-consecutive constraint, but it's so clever. Brilliant stuff. Thanks for watching us on the channel, as always. A pleasure to bring you these puzzles to you. Absolute joy. Hope to see you again tomorrow. Bye for now. Bye for now.